Hey, coming up live on LiveWire, we're going to have a great show for you today. We're going to talk to Haley Wall. She is the public information coordinator for the Front Street Animal Shelter. Say that 10 times. Front Street Animal Shelter, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things that happen there, and we're going to meet also a wonderful, wonderful person that she's brought along, a brown tabby called Hope. Right after this important message. Hi, I'm Ray Tatter. Welcome to LiveWire, and welcome to our little talk show. Today's talk is about Animules, Animal Shelter from the Front Street Animal Shelter. Welcome, Haley.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's good. It's good. And we had a nice little talk before, about what is life like, and working for an animal shelter in a major city.
Yeah.
So a lot of dogs and cats and all of that wandering around, and they get taken to the shelter, and what happens?
Yeah, so there's always the chance of animals getting out, animals being born in the community. So when individuals find them, if they're not able to take care of them themselves, they bring them down to the shelter where we are able to check them out medically, see if anything's going on with them, and get them out into adoptive homes or return to their owners if possible.
Yeah, and sometimes they're little animals so that have just been born, because they've had six kittens and they just can only have one.
We often see lots of kittens come into our shelter. We actually have usually about 4,000 kittens that come into Front Street every single year. Kitten season is a big thing in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of cats. I think they've been spayed because they don't do what they
Yes, we always want to spay and neuter those cats, so we're not adding any more.
So you 4,000. So it's an interesting thing. People love their cats. I have two, and I also have a very wonderful dog, and they all get along, kind of. There's a detente, actually. I'll be in this room, you be in that room, or I'll scratch your eyes out, something like that.
That can often be how it is. Yes.
Yeah. So, is there like too many dogs? I mean, how does it? Give me kind of a picture of the current situation for the Front Street Animal Shelter. I mean, you're up to here.
So right now, we have a lot of dogs on property. We're doing pretty well with cats during winter months. We usually don't see as many cats coming in, so we're getting kind of a nice break there.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a lot of dogs that are in need, a lot of dogs hoping their owners are going to find them or someone's going to come down and adopt them.
Okay, well, let's talk about the processes by which you serve the community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I've talked with you a little bit beforehand. It's very, very interesting, and I think it's how a major city should be serving the community with this issue. We love our dogs.
Yeah.
I take my dog out for a walk twice a day, and so do 4 or 5 people on every block.
Yeah.
So you're kind of all of a sudden you're marching around with other people, and you're saying, should I cross the street and away from that huge dog, or shall I just walk by and see what happens? Like this morning, I walked by and the 2 dogs sniffed and looked at each other. Nobody growled. It was like, fine, how do you do? How are you? Oh, got to take my walk.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's amazing. I mean, in Sacramento, we have just so many animal lovers, and the community is really what allows us to keep doing what we're doing and to be able to serve so many animals. It's pretty amazing, just the support you see from people out there.
So let's have a situation talk then. Okay, we'll talk about I think, how about adopting? You can
Yeah.
adopt. It means that it's your dog. After that, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, so if somebody is looking to add a furry friend to their family, we always have lots at the shelter that are looking for homes. You know, they come to us, and for whatever reason, their owners don't come for them. Maybe they don't have one. Maybe, you know, it's been a while since their owner lost them, and so they're at the shelter. And if somebody wants to adopt them, they can go to our website and actually schedule an appointment so they can come in and adopt a new family
We'll just put
member.
the website up on the.
Perfect.
This is good. And also, there are some rules for adopting, and also some things that come along with it. Okay, you know, like we talked about earlier about someone who's adopting who has other animals in the house. They love animals, you know, and
Yeah.
they like them around.
Yeah.
However, you want to have a happy house. I mean, it took a while for my dog to get the way he is with the two cats. I mean, there's a real détente. I mean, they sit next to one another. They don't do high fives, but they're okay.
Yeah, it definitely is always an adjustment bringing a new family member home. Our animal care staff is really great at talking with adopters and going over the process and what it usually looks like when you bring a new dog or cat into your home. And they'll give a ton of suggestions on how to introduce them, how to, you know, make your pets happy while also, entering this new family member into the house. So there's a lot of great tips that they'll get to be able to have a successful relationship between the new pets.
Yeah, and and you. I mean, I my dog is wonderful. You know, I mean, he sleeps in the bedroom right next to the bed over there. We have a nice little place for him, and he sits there, and he wakes up and he doesn't get out of bed until we do.
That's pretty
He
cute.
doesn't walk over and paw and paw. Okay, so here on the screen it says open for adoption Monday through Friday from 12 to 4:30. That's good. By appointment only. Yeah, I would think that given the fact that we have limited staff and
Yes.
you're going to have an appointment. And then a lot of people think, oh, I could just go in there and get them, but you actually have to have the wherewithal to keep a dog.
Yeah, so our staff will talk to the adopters or potential adopters about, what it takes to own an animal
Right.
and make sure they understand the responsibilities of it. But our shelter is also really hoping to make it easier for people to have pets. We want to provide extra resources. So we'll give people the support they need to bring a pet home and make sure to answer all the questions they may have about what it's going to take to be able to care for them.
Well, when Susan and I came and sat down and to get one of our animals, I was saying, why are you asking some interesting questions here? I guess, and I felt actually honored that they would see whether or not we would be not leaving them home alone for 3 days while we went to San Francisco. You know.
Yeah, we're all about having conversations and going over what it's going to be like when they get home and just making sure that the new owners understand what they're getting into and that it's going to be a good fit for them. We want to make
Sure.
sure it's, not only good for the animal, but good for the person too.
Yeah, I think so. And that's the best way to adopt it. And then, you can know that it's an interaction. You're almost like a parent. So let's hold on fostering. We're going to talk about fostering, but that is the opposite to it. There it is. That you sign up for fostering.
Yeah.
You can get a dog on spec, which means you can foster the dog and provide, this where the shelter provides medical care and all of that, and food, and then you can say, I think I want this one.
Yeah, you can foster to help find them another home, or if they end up being a good fit for you, you can adopt them also.
So isn't that interesting for people who are wary
Yeah.
about finding the right dog?
Yeah, it's a great way to be able to bring them into your home, see how they do. If it ends up being a great fit, then fosters get to be first in line to adopt.
Sure. There should be something like that in marriage, where if your daughter is going to starting to see somebody, but no, it can't be. That wouldn't work at all. A foster guy in your house. I don't know about that, but anyway, it's really interesting. Adoption or fostering. You can adopt. You can go and say, we need a nice dog. We need and where to be. I mean, our dog's an indoor-outdoor dog. He can go out in the backyard and run around and come back in an hour. He's a little older dog because he was, what do you call it when people retire and they can't take their dog to the old folks' home? Something like that.
Yeah.
That's how we got our dog, because we had a friend who couldn't take the dog. It was too big. Could have taken a little Chihuahua, but not a full-grown dog about this high.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who need to rehome their pets. We actually even have resources for that on our website. So if people need help rehoming their pets, they can also get some assistance from us.
Okay. Well, since this is a television program, let's look at some B-roll, which we call B-roll, which is a video that you brought down here that we can look at.
Yeah, that'd be
And then,
great.
then we'll talk about it. Here we go. Woo! What's that? Oh, you can adopt. Oh, a little fuzzy dog. Okay, is there music or something? Oh. That looks like my dog.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if I was moved by that, what would I do? And I say, Jen, I want to get a dog on
Yeah.
spec.
So we have a lot of dogs that need some extra care. Maybe they're senior dogs, maybe they have some medical conditions, and we're really hoping that there's just some compassionate people out there that are willing to give them that safe place. Yeah. So if they're interested, they can actually go to our website, and we have a few sections there. We've got adopt a dog at the shelter, adopt a dog in foster care, and we also have a whole page dedicated to hospice adoption. So
What if I'm older and I don't have said website? I don't want to go to the website. Can I just call and talk to somebody?
So if you call 311 through the city of Sacramento, you can actually be dispatched to somebody to speak to you who can have a customer service representative call back so they can give them
that's-
all that information.
Very good, because there are people, and I'm almost one of those people who just don't want to be on the telephone all day long, but I'd be willing to talk to somebody. I like human voices, and
Yeah, it can be nice to talk to
talking
someone.
directly to
Yeah.
people. Yeah. So okay, so that's adopting things, and fostering is you were actually working for the city.
Yeah, you're volunteering, and it's just a great way to give back, not only to the shelter, but all of these animals that are in need. Especially when the shelter is full, it can be just incredibly helpful to get these dogs
Sure,
out.
is the shelter full now?
Right now with dogs, yes, we're very full with dogs. So we
Okay.
definitely could use people willing to volunteer to take these dogs into their own home and care for them.
So and then that's for a limited time?
Yeah, it's usually just for a few weeks. You bring them home, you provide just love and that care that they need day to day, like taking them on walks, socializing them, and the shelter will actually provide the food, the medical care, and supplies needed to help care for that animal.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and talk about some very interesting things like vaccine clinics.
Yes, that'd be great.
Oh, good. Well, you're the public information officer. Okay, well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in just a little while, but we have some important messages to share with you and your community.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, That was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Now back to our program. I'm Ray Tatter, and with me in the studio, if you haven't been tuned in, you just tuned in, is Haley Wall. She is the Public Information Officer for the Front Street Animal Shelter, and you brought a friend here, and who is this guy?
Yes, she's gonna try and bite my face while we're on here. This is Hope. She is actually my foster cat. She is a special needs cat that came into Front Street about a month ago. She actually came in with a fractured pelvis. So somebody found her in the street. And she wasn't able to walk very well, so they knew that she needed some help. So they brought her in, and we actually learned that she does have some special needs.
She wants to be on the microphone.
Yeah, she does. She loves attention. She's very sweet. She actually can't go to the bathroom on her own, so that's what she needs some extra help with. But besides that, you would have no idea that she is a special cat. I mean, she's extremely social, outgoing, as you can see, has no fear.
No fear of light and the television cameras?
Not at all.
There's no
she's
fear of your cheek?
Sweet. Nope, she loves to give little love nibbles to your chin. She's just such a good cat. She is easygoing. She does well with dogs and cats in my house. She's met some children and she's done well with them. She's really an amazing cat, and she's actually available for adoption right now.
She's up for adoption?
Street. Yes. If
Anybody pick them yet?
Not yet.
Can I come in? I can't. I've got 2 cats and a dog, and we have agreed. But look, that is a very nice cat.
Yeah, she's very sweet. I think there's going to be someone amazing out there that's willing to just give that little extra bit of support she needs, and
someone to fulfill the hope of hope.
Yes, hope. Absolutely, that's the goal.
The goal. Okay, well, that's very interesting. And so, how's he got better? He's got his hip.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better. There's a lot less pain there for her. She's on cage rest, and she's healing really well. And we think that she'll be able to run around like normal after a few more weeks of healing.
See. She wants to do it right now.
She's like, I will run around
got the
and get
microphone.
stuck to the microphone.
I love it. She says she wants to say a few things to the United States.
Yes, she has a lot of important information she wants to get out there.
Okay, we could do that. So I did want to talk about vaccine clinics you have coming up and things like that. So let's have him go back in his little cage there. All right. Nice seeing you. So the vaccine clinics are monthly clinics that are free. They're free.
Yes, yeah.
So you can get your animal vaccinated. And what's this DHPP and FVRCP?
Those are the different types of vaccines. So the DHPP is for dogs, so that's going to protect them against things like distemper and parvo. And then the cat version of it is FVRCP, so feline parvo is one of the things, calicivirus.
Parvo, yeah, that's a killer, right?
It can be very deadly. So these vaccinations are super important because
and they're free.
They are completely free. These events provide not only the vaccines but also free microchips. So if people don't have their pets microchipped, they can come out to
What's
one of
a microchip for?
It goes in the animal's skin under right there between their shoulder blades, and it can actually be scanned if they go to a vet or an animal shelter, and it pulls up a number, and when we search that number, we can get the owner's contact information to let them know that their pet's been found. So it's amazing. They can get animals home that have been missing for years. We just had a really great success story the other day about a dog that went missing back in April, and the owner was looking everywhere, could not find her dog. Well, he ended up coming into our shelter months later, and we were able to reunite them.
Months later, wow, yeah.
So those microchips are amazing, and they can get them
Should
for
write
free.
a book about that. You know, I when I said I was coming down to this to talk to you today, This woman told me a story about her dog, and that her dog disappeared, and so she called us all, our neighbors, and said, "Get on the road, my dog." So we're all driving around trying to find the dog, and the dog went about 7. Nobody could find it. About 7 blocks away from where she was, and got in one of those delivery vans that gets around, and sat in the passenger seat. And the delivery guy gets back into his car after making a delivery, and he sees there's a dog there, and the dog has his feet on the dashboard, looks over at him, and goes, and he goes, "What?" He goes, so he looks it up, and it only had the vet's telephone number on the calls the vet up. They say, "Oh, it's at so and so street," and here's the address. And he says, "Okay." Closes the door, drives over there, and delivers the dog.
Oh, that is so funny. Hey, those delivery drivers are doing a lot.
A little extra work there.
Yeah, but definitely these clinics are great for the community. You know, if somebody needs these services for their pets, we definitely encourage them to come stop by. We're happy to provide them and to help people out with their pets.
This is great. And for families, I think that's important. And I think the whole idea of families taking part in it, in adopting an animal or being a foster parent for an animal and making sure that they got their vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It teaches, children about responsibility, caring for animals. There's also a lot of compassion that they can learn from caring for these shelter animals.
Sure. So, Haley, what about lost pets?
Yeah.
You lose your pet, like I was mentioning, that was just a funny story that actually happened in Midtown. But people lose their pets, they freak out.
Yeah, it can be a really scary and emotional time when someone loses their pet.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times people don't know what to do. They lose their pet, they're, flustered themselves and aren't sure where to look. So we've been really trying to make that process easier for people. We actually have a texting line that people can text in, and I believe that will display on the screen. So people can send a text, and we'll actually shoot back a lot of information about different tips to help find their pets, like hanging flyers in their neighborhood, going door to door and talking to their neighbors, just like you said your neighbor did. Using social media to get pictures of their pet out there. And then, of course, also looking at the shelter to see if their pet's been brought to the shelter. And one thing that we actually have been doing since last July, and we're extending until June, is we're waiving all fees for people to reclaim their pets. So if somebody's pet ends up at our shelter, they can come get it back without having to pay any fees.
Okay, there's a telephone number there. Text STRAY to 833-511-0426.
Yeah, and that will just give them a lot of information just to help increase the chances of them finding their pet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm walking my dog. I saw a couple of months ago, I passed by this house, and they had a little sign out saying, "Have you seen my cat?"
Yeah.
And there was a picture of the cat, and I didn't see the cat. And then I am looking out of the window of our bedroom, and there is this cat on the fence looking at me. This is like 8 blocks away from there. So I go back and I say, I saw your cat. It's in my neighborhood, not here. But it just zipped away after, it gave me a cold stare.
Yeah, it can be hard. I mean,
They
cats
did finally get
travel
it back,
a little
by the
bit, so
way.
it can make it a little tricky to find them. So that's why it's just great to get the word out about how to just increase the chances of finding them and having your neighbors help you find them too.
Yeah. So you do return lost pets. So I think those are major services. And so are there any services that we're missing? So you have a lot of cats. What about other animals? As I recall, there were other animals that you could adopt.
Yeah, we do get in other animals. The main ones you'll see right now are rabbits and guinea pigs. We actually get quite a few of those small animals, sometimes hamsters too. You never know what you'll see. Occasionally we get turtles and birds and all sorts of things, but a lot of rabbits always come in that need adoption as well. So if somebody's looking for another type of pet, they can definitely check our website, and we have a section about adopting other animals too.
But is that all on the website?
It is, yeah. We have a lot of information on there, so I definitely always encourage people to check it out if they're curious to learn more.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that there are people who are listening who are serious about possibly being to work as people who are holding and fostering an animal for a number of weeks.
Yeah.
Especially family. I think the idea of doing that is so important to be able to know that you're providing love for an animal is not going to be with you for very long, for just a few weeks, and then you say goodbye.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
It's really an incredible process, and it's really rewarding and heartwarming too. A lot of the time these animals come to us sick and injured, and you really get to be part of their journey and transformation and helping them find homes, whether it's with you or with somebody else.
So can I just go down and to the animal shelter and take a look at the dogs and cats and walk through there?
So not currently, because of staffing shortages, we are open by appointment only, but if people are interested, they can go to our website and make an appointment so they can come down.
Well, yeah. COVID has done it, because we used to go down, we'd go to the, across the street is the animal, or the animal is the automobile, the AA, animals, automobiles.
I know, it would make like a perfect weekend outing when people go to the museum and to the
Absolutely.
shelter.
Well, we've done that a number of times. And so that would be nice, and hopefully we'll return to those times.
Absolutely.
So there's the vaccine clinics on the screen, folks. Is that correct?
Yes, that is, and we are excited to be out there this weekend. And
So
help a
where's
lot of
Research
animals.
Drive?
It's in North Sacramento, so kind of in the like North Natomas type area. It's only about 10-minute drive from the shelter, which is in downtown.
Yeah. Is there another shelter that is existing in our system?
We have a couple other shelters in Sacramento. There's the county shelter, which is Bradshaw, and there's
Bradshaw.
also the SBCA, which is our local nonprofit shelter.
Yeah, Bradshaw Avenue, Bradshaw Boulevard.
I don't actually know.
That's on
I always
Bradshaw.
just call it Bradshaw.
And the other, what was the last one?
The SBCA.
SPCA.
And they're on
course,
Floor and
SPCA.
Perkins.
Well, that's all the time we have,
Well, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having us
Well,
and
thank you,
highlighting all of
Haley.
this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so, any parting shots? You can make an ad now, right now. So switch the camera over to Haley. She's going to say one last word about the Front Street Animal Shelter.
I would just love to say that if you're thinking about helping an animal in our community, there are so many ways to do it, whether it's adopting, fostering, volunteering, or even just spreading the word about the shelter. If you have a family member looking to adopt, tell them to check out our website so they can make an appointment to come down, and you'll be helping out so many animals in our community.
You did it. Bravo.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Next Wednesday at 5 o'clock, you'll learn a little bit more about your community, and maybe you want to stay here. We'll see you next week on LiveWire.